Hi, everyone. I wanted to send out a little more from All About Process. This is actually a few days before Sunday. Sunday, when this is going out, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be probably in the air. Anyway, I'm going out to it's family weekend where my elder daughter is going to college. So don't know that I'll be able to get to this, so I'm pre-recording a dispatch for you all. Anyway, we're gonna go back to. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna cover Dewey. We did some of that with Mary Jane Jacobs' book. I'm gonna jump over that, although he's mentioned here, and just read a few paragraphs, but they're dense, so we'll take it a bit slower. In shifting the focus from objects to experience, Dewey's and Collingwood's philosophical approaches may also be compared to process philosophy in a broader sense. The most prominent process philosophers, Henri Bergson and Alfred North Whitehead, both rejected the traditional philosophical focus on things as merely instrumental to thought, rather than definitive of the true nature of reality and being. There is a distinct parallelism in the process philosophers' reconceptualization of the nature of reality, in which time and motion take priority over the static entity, and the turn to process over product in the valuation of modern art. Time and motion take priority over the static entity, the painting or the sculpture or whatever, right? It's time. And the turn to process over product in the valuation of modern art and the way we evaluate and think about modern art. Just as the stable, self-identical object is for process philosophy merely a moment, the object's just a moment in the constantly changing life of any given entity, right? Everything's changing. Itself artificially isolated from the continuum of the universe, the artwork came more and more to be seen as a mere byproduct of the essential nature of art, the ever-expanding process of the artist. Process philosophers claimed the individual isolated object was not truly real. It was merely convenient for human instrumentalism. In Bergson's writing, this tendency to think instrumentally is described as generalizing reality into language and symbols through which human beings think and perceive the world, right? So we're taking very specific experiences and generalizing them into language, symbols. This is a chair, right? So everything is like, there's a general category for things. The poet and artist are, in contrast, able to perceive reality directly, and through their art are able to explore and communicate the specificity of individual experiences. It's this specific thing, whatever this is. Artworks are thus occasions for experience. A conviction that we have seen was later examined in the work of Dewey and Collingwood. They came after Bergson and Whitehead. In a more general way, the emphasis on process and experience may be seen concretely reflected in the rejection of the artwork as a mere commodity. Right? Commodity, something that's bought and sold as an object, right? No, no, no. It's part of this larger process. First by surrealists and later, beginning in the 1960s, more and more widely across the spectrum of contemporary artists, very much so today. I mean, for sure. Okay, we're gonna jump, and I want to mention Henri Focillon's Life of Forms, Focillon, Focillon, I think. Life of Forms, beautiful book, highly recommend it. Henri Focillon's Life of Forms, discussed in the previous chapter in relation to art, craft, and the materiality of art making, was strongly influenced by Bergsonian thought, most pronounced in the emphasis on the endless creative flux of forms as the nature of reality. The flux of forms. Like Bergson, Focillon contributes to artists a capacity for unmediated grasp of the true nature of reality. In Focillon's description, the artist is possessed by forms. And in return, the artist, unlike the non-artist, develops and becomes richer throughout life and into old age. Forms never cease to live. In their separate state, they still clamor for action. They still take absolute possession of whatever action has propagated them in order to augment, strengthen, and shape it. They are the creators of the universe, of the artist, and of man himself. They are concrete and active forces powerfully at work among the things of matter and space. Forms. In Focillon's view, great artists like Delacroix, Chardin, and Turner lead ordinary, limited lives, waiting for, quote, the essential events that originate in the life of forms. They face life as Leonardo faced the old wall, discovering forms in what to others are merely arbitrary marks. Focillon emphasizes the inevitable linkage between the artist and the forms he creates. This is not a simple connection between creator and product created. There is an endless symbiotic circuit that includes the audience as well through the universality of forms and the human innate psychological predisposition to be affected by them. Somehow form makes a difference. It does. Like, whoa, it does. To be affected by the form. Here's a quote, every act is still a gesture, and every gesture a kind of hieroglyph. William James has shown that every gesture exercises on the life of the mind an influence that is none other than the influence of all form. Then the world created by the artist acts in him, and acts on other men. End quote. As discussed in the previous chapter, Focillon emphasized the physicality of the artist's work as communicated through the hand's shaping of matter. His ideas are thus an exemplary attempt to theorize a fully integrated conception of artist, artwork, viewer, and reality, based on the philosophical concept of life as an unending process, a flux of forms with no ultimate goal or resolution. All right, that's enough. So let's go form. I'm gonna go form, Okay. Where does form come from? Okay. Be well, happy forming, and talk to y'all later. Okay, bye-bye.